Why, hello. How's it going? We are doing the role quests for Tank, Dawntrail. And yeah, this is part 2. Let's get right into it. Lefrine remains as elusive as ever. If she is in league with Ishgard's more unsavory elements, she could be hidden anywhere. We have only her cryptic statements to guide us. It seems that whatever her plan is, her actions thus far have been but a prelude to its climax. We can but hope that Tentawawa awakens before she emerges again. Yo, there you are. I'm so glad I found you. I was starting to think I was in the wrong city, but the narwhal guided me true. Oh, you must be the maiden Tentawawa mentioned. You hail from the same village, yes? I am filled firm alert of the Temple Knights. 'Tis an honor to meet you. Ah, Tentanoa wrote about you in his letters. I'm Lozenkui, and the honor is all mine. Is Tentowa with you? I haven't received a letter from him in some time, so I came here to check on him myself. You insufferable fool. What have I always told you about rushing ahead without thinking? Now you even have the gall to sleep while I arrive. What promise you promised you'd rate me. What am I supposed to do when the letters stop coming? I was so worried. At least I can take some small comfort that he appears otherwise unharmed. I take it that you're to thank for that, yo? Is there any way to counteract the Creator's influence? Can one stay awake forever by sheer force of will? The answer is the same. Although we can deny ourselves food or drink, sleep is another matter. It always finds us in time. And so, to rouse oneself from a slumber this deep is an impossible task, even for someone like Tentawawa. Do you know why Tentawawa sleeps so soundly? The reports of other incidents indicate that those affected awoke in a matter of moments. Yet, Tentawa shows no sign of stirring. Well, that I'm sorry I can't say for certain. But I do know the stories of those who came before me. More than one Jedi has fallen into a deep sleep much like this. One so absolute that they become deaf to the outside world. With no means to sustain their bodies, they would waste away if left alone. So our people found a mixture of herbs and other materials that help usher the Jedi back to the waking world. What could possibly be strong enough to bring someone back from this? We call it spring dew, and the secrets of its making are passed down through generations. Each drop acts as a ray of sunshine in the darkness of sleep, a beacon for the dreamer to follow. I carry some of the ingredients on my person, but others must be gathered fresh. It won't be an easy task, but I'm certain it will save 10 Tawawa. I don't know the Eorzean name, but one of the followers becomes a striking yellow and grows only when mountain peaks soar above the clouds. Being so close to the heavens, it drinks the sunlight, and its petals cleanse the body and promote wakefulness. In the churning mist blooms a yellow flower called the dandelion. In no other place in Eorzea can one be closer to touching the sun. Good. Next we'll need the saliva of a beast we can call morbles. And the thicker it is, the better. The pungent odor could wake the dead. Ah, I know them well. Morbles are not an uncommon sight in the Dravanian hitherlands. A mature specimen should possess saliva with the desired effect. The prospect of gathering it, however, is an unviable task. Once we have those two ingredients, mixing them with the rest should be a simple matter. Do you think you could procure them, Yao? Oh, your confidence is reassuring. Since the morble's saliva must be the fresher of the two, I ask that you first climb into the heavens and pick dandelions for 10 Tawa. The sun-drenched dandelions shine an almost golden yellow. Now for a much more gruesome task. Venture to the Dravanian hitherlands and collect saliva from the mouth of a full-grown morble. I'm ready to start mixing the ingredients at once. That is, of course, assuming you brought them with you. These are difficult to acquire at the best of times, so I thank you for gathering them so quickly. I shall get started immediately. We've done all we can. Now we wait for Tentoa to open his eyes. Huh? Where am I? I hope you've enjoyed sleeping the days away, Tentoa. And I'm glad you're finally awake. Lokenwe, what are you doing here? I see. So, Lefrine wielded the cradle against me, and while I was stuck soundly in bed, Lozin and Quay came all this way. Curse my weakness. Just when we had her, just when I was needed the most, I failed. For 10 years I endured countless trials, and when the time came I couldn't even swing my damn weapon. It's not your fault, Tentoa. If anyone's to blame for what's happened, it's me. No, I won't hear it. As you may know, Lefine won our trust by possessing a scholar traveling the width of and breadth of Tural. She expressed great interest in the cradle and our customs, and I was so excited to meet the outsider that I answered every question. I told her that the wide-eye keeps the cradle with them at all times, and then she hatched her plan. She took me hostage to draw out Tentawara. While Zinkui was sleeping, Lefine snuck into her chamber and held a blade to her throat. I had no choice but to give her what she wanted, the cradle of the sleepless. But I put Lozenkui's life before the future of our people. It was at that moment I became unfit to be their guardian. Ooh, she is one of your people. Protecting her was her duty. Thank you, Yo. You know just what to say. That was the only way to see a future where none of my people come to harm, especially Lozenque. Even without the cradle, you're still our guardian, my guardian. We'll find a way through this together. Seeing you in such high spirits lifts my own. Oh, and before I forget, you trounced Lefrine's thugs while I was dreaming in the snow, didn't you? I owe you a debt I won't soon forget. And I wager that debt will grow larger before we pry the treasures from Lefrine's clutches. But whatever it takes, I won't stop until she's answered for her crimes. Ooh, this is a short one. I'm embarrassed to admit that that was the first time I've created the mixture. I'm glad it worked as intended. You know, while I was sleeping, I dreamed. I saw Lo Zin Kuei and I as children. Nothing particularly interesting happened. We just whiled the days away without a care in the world. I'd forgotten what it was like to dream. It was pleasant. I can remember wanting to stay there, to never open my eyes again. But of course, the moment I gave form to that thought, I opened them, and Lo Zin Kuei was there. Even if we get the cradle back, will things return to the way they were? Will you go back to spending your life in dreams? I suppose, though, it is my duty as the Shut-Eye, after all. Your duty, and it was your duty too that compelled you to come all the way here to Ishgard. But no more. What are you saying? I tried so hard to convince myself that you were glad spending so much time asleep, but being on the other side of the matter made me realize I was lying to myself all along. I don't want to return to a life where you and I are bound together, but always so far apart. I want to go back to those happy days when we were by each other's side. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if there's a different path for us, I want to find it, and I want to walk it with you. But not yet. First we reclaim the cradle, and when we have, we'll take our first steps towards that new future. I promise. I must confess, I haven't felt the same since I woke up. I know I was in the bed for a while, but instead of feeling refreshed, my body feels weaker somehow. It's almost as if my very strength was sapped when the treasure was turned on me. I can't even grip my weapon properly. Maybe it's taking ether. Then does that mean the cradle has powers we don't know about? Not exactly. It may just mean the cradle works differently than we thought. Its wielder might not pass on their fatigue. Rather, they absorb another's vigor. To end this effect would be the same. The cradle's wielder can go without sleep, and its victim loses the strength to even keep their eyes open. You never took more than you needed, so my slumber was always light enough to be awakened from. But if the treasure was used without restraint, if we've had this realization, it won't be long until Lafine does too, and then it will be too late. We have to root her out. But I mustn't rush ahead blindly, as Lo Zin Kuei never tires of telling me. I feel nearly weak as a child right now. I must spend what precious time we have training to regain what strength Lafine stole from me. You have my word. I won't rest until I'm in top form again. I suggest that you do the same, if for no other reason than to give me some stiff competition. I don't have enough ingredients to make spring stew again. We'll have to deal with Lefrine before the Cradle's powers return. 98. Okay. 22 minutes. I'll see you in a second. Okay. On with the video. You're looking strong, yo. While I'm not my old self yet, I'm feeling better by the day. Still, there's much work to be done. I need to be even better than I was before for to have any hope of catching Lefrine. I wonder what she's plotting with the rest of her cohorts. We know they aim to topple nations around the world, but this is an odd way to go about it, don't you think? Why haven't her misdeeds in Ishgard extended any farther than the Temple Knights? We've pondered the same question. Our best guess was that a former Temple Knight herself chose them because she knows how to exploit their weaknesses. She's using her knowledge as her weapon, and we need to equip ourselves likewise. If we can learn more about her, we might be able to anticipate her next move. A good plan, but I admit I have no idea where to start. Should we ask Firmalbert? I already have. He said that while we never knew her personally, the knights in her old squadron might be able to shed light onto her past. Some of them even know how now patrol the city. The Firmalbert was a great help in telling where they might be. One second. Okay. You've been busy, Lozenekwe. Well, I can't remember the last time I was awake this long. I didn't want to sit around until I got tired again. And we're all the better for it. Since you've gathered the information, it's only fitting I should do the legwork. Just tell me where these knights are and I'll speak with them. Gladly, but Ishgard is still an unfamiliar city for both of us, right? Although Firmalbert told me where to go, the names of these places mean nothing to me. Luckily, we have Yo to guide you. You'll go with Tantawawa, won't you? I knew we could count on you. Alright, take note of these locations. How many Temple Knights are there? Not even Firmalbert would know all of them. I can barely imagine. Being forced to work with someone like Lefrine isn't a fate I would envy. I'm curious to hear what these knights have to say about her. Hopefully, they provide insight that'll help guide us forward. Time is of the essence, yo. Let's get moving. The whole city is the charge of the Temple Knights, isn't it? There's no way a single warrior could defend it. While I don't mind their honor as a whole, it's inevitable that a rotten seed like Lefrine would eventually find its way into their ranks. Until recently, I always believed our remote corner of Yaxtoril was the safest place in the world. But if danger can find us even there, I'm not sure what to think anymore. 1, 2, 3, and some information. I've heard that people of Ishgard revere a warrior god, but here is a statue of a flesh and blood knight. I've never seen such a thing. My people make no figures or depictions of our departed, fearing that such objects would keep them from finding their way to the next world. The only idol we keep is the cradle of sleeplessness, and thanks to its blessings, a wide eye has always watched over us. So our reverence is devoted solely to the narwhal. It's enough that it guides our people safely to the next sunrise. All is quiet. Even so, I must remain vigilant. Leffing, eh? A name spoken in hushed whispers now, but many have forgotten her strategic genius. She had a singular talent for achieving victory in battle by whatever means necessary. Genius. Maybe we're just too dense to see how her actions could cause Ishgard's collapse. Given that her group seems relatively few in number, an assault on Ishgard is unlikely. Rather, I think her aim is to chip away at the people's trust in Ishgard's foundation, and by the absence of a few vital bricks bring the whole nation tumbling down. The thought gives me worry. Even now, representatives from Ishgard are preparing to visit Oak Zondu in the Sea of Clouds. If anything were to go wrong, it would be a grievous blow to Ishgard's reputation. As we saw at Falcon's Nest, certain elements that oppose our nation see friendly gestures as a chance to spark conflict. Given recent developments, Sir Handeloup has been debating whether the visit is a wise choice. Do you require aid? I must keep watch, so forgive me if I don't engage in idle chit-chat. Leffine, for her I can spare a moment. I don't suppose you know why she was expelled from the Temple Knights, do you? While few were her equal in swordplay, and fewer still handled their mounts with such grace, she oft spent her nights carousing in the gambling halls. It was after just such a night that she fell asleep while on duty. Some may call it a cruel twist of fate, but dragons attacked her charges as she slept, and they were left defenseless. In her negligence, she was deemed to have aided an ancestral foe, and thus was stripped of her knighthood and noble title both. Knights falling asleep on duty, a story that's become all too familiar. Given what happened, I have no doubt she came to fear sleep. Yet now she has conquered what weakness is that weakness, and she wields it as a weapon against us. She may even believe herself to be beyond the reach of mortal danger, yet she's only deluding herself, and in time she'll be made to answer for her deeds. you're up there. Okay. Now this is a rare privilege. What business could the savior of Ishgard have with a humble knight? You want to know about Lefine? Well, many temple knights come from common stock, but she was different. Despite what she became, Lefine was born of noble blood. Even so, she often made mock of Ishgard's customs and the responsibilities that bound the conduct of noble families. Doubtless she yearned for freedom all her life, or her idea of it anyways. Although her deeds caused her to be expelled from the Temple Knights and summarily stripped of her title, she may have actually desired that outcome. If she hated it so much here, all she had to do was leave. I hear she did leave, for a time at least. Now she's in league with a group that aims to plunge the world into chaos. If a selfish heart like Lefine was sought out to aid in this plot, I shudder to imagine how wicked the leader must be. Well, we have a general understanding of what drives our adversary. Stories that paint a picture of a rotten, conniving soul. You're right. Whatever her ultimate goal may be, it's clear she has almost blinding focus on shaming the Temple Knights. And this, what did he call it, a delegation, may provide an irresistible opportunity. Finally, we have knowledge to use against our enemy. If we all work together, we might be able to trap her. We haven't much time. Let's return to the congregation and tell this handy loop what we know. Yeah. You are ever welcome at the congregation, yo. I am surprised of Lefine's wicked deeds, and your efforts to flush her out have been much appreciated. And this must be Master Tentorara, who crossed the ocean from Toral. I hope you have recovered from your ordeal. I'm better than ever. Apologies for taking up one of your beds for so long. Please, no apologies are necessary. On the contrary, the Temple Knights yet owe you a debt for all you have done. Which brings me to the purpose of this visit. You had something to discuss with me? I see. You and I have the same doubts. The delegation to Oksundu would be an obvious target for Lefine. I was but recently debating the wisdom of moving forward with our plans. As you know, all of Ishgard falls under the protection of the Temple Knights. As such, 'tis only meet that we maintain the strength and friendly relations with our neighbors. The delegations in question is tasked with deepening mutual understanding of each of our unique cultures. Sanu Vanu, chief of the Vundu, was most eager to host. Yet, so long as the specter of Lefine hangs over our order, I fear visits abroad are unwise. Should any of the Vanu come to harm, our relations could be damaged irreparably. As we have no way of knowing if Lefine has caught wind of our plans, I am of the mind that postponing the delegation may be the most prudent course of action for the safety of all. The Zundu will be safe under our watch. That's right. Yo and I won't let anyone come to harm. And as long as you warn the Vanu Vanu in advance, they shouldn't hold the actions of a rogue agent against you. If they are truly your allies, they'll see the wisdom in your judgment. Please, send the delegation as planned. It'll be our best chance to capture Lafine. Yes, your words have merit. Thank you for the sage counsel. You're right. The Zundu would not stand idly by while we suffer at Lafine's hand. In fact, the fellowship between our two peoples was forged when a god assailed their home and was brought low by a great hero. Yo. If we tell the Zundu that she is keeping watch over the proceedings, then I am certain that all doubts shall be quelled. Then you'll proceed? Indeed, the time has come for the Temple Knights to reclaim our honor and go on the counter-offensive. I shall bring the suggestion of joint operation against Lafine to the Lord Commander as soon as possible. Thank you. Together, we'll put a stop to her scheme. I first must discuss matters with others involved before we present a plan to the Lord Commander. Although time is of the essence, I ask that you wait a while until our next course is settled. Stuck on a chair. Tentawara told me what you learned from Lefine. To be honest, I do empathize somewhat with her desire to be free from the bonds of sleep. But that's where my sympathy ends. It's exactly because we must sleep that every waking moment is precious. Life awake is meaningless if we can't spend it with those we care about. Okay. Oops, sorry about the pause there. Okay. I realize now that I agreed to defend a people I know next to nothing about. Tell me of these Zundu we will be visiting. Really, two groups of such people so far apart. The world really is full of surprises. Even a single city is enough for a lifetime. Each day I hear something that gives me food for thought. Like the story of the Dragon Song War, for instance. Generations of animosity between dragon and man that somehow ended in a rekindled fellowship. I imagined a whole world like that. A world where there would be no need for protectors. The wide eye watches not only the monsters in the wilderness, but our neighbors as well. We've barely even considered sending delegations outside our village gates, and the cold snap only made things worse, with everyone struggling just to survive.
Our every thought goes towards defending our scarce resources. But if we only look outward with wariness, there's no hope for the future to change, no hope to build trust. If only there was a way to bridge the distance between us and greet tomorrow hand in hand. But maybe that's just a silly dream. Maybe. Either way, it's a beautiful thought. I'm glad you think so. I hold that future in mind as I get back into training. As for you, yo, get some rest. If you fall asleep when I need you most, I'll wake you up with a knock on the head. They really need to expand the inventory. It's been like 6 games and it's the same size. Alright. See ya in a second. Alright. This should be the last of the video, provided I beat the duty. Let's see. Sir Handyloop still hasn't sent word. I guess the others might not be so enthusiastic about our plan. To them, the cradle of sleeplessness is naturally still something to be feared. No matter how much faith they have in your strength, you'd be at Lefine's mercy if she put you to sleep. Honestly, I don't blame them. Not even I imagined our treasure could be used for such evil. In Lefine's hands, it's no more than an indiscriminate weapon. But that means we get it back. When we get it back, we can turn it into something else. Something no one's ever thought of before. We can find a way to use it without forcing someone to spend their life in slumber. Of course, I agree with you, Tentawa, but we have more pressing matters, namely a rogue knight to capture and a treasure to recover. Right. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Apologies for keeping you waiting so long. The Temple Knights have finally reached a decision concerning the delegation of the Sea of Clouds. And what have you decided? I am pleased to say that the Zundu have agreed to join forces with us. Together, we shall drive back Lefine should she attack. If her shadow darkens even an ilm of their homeland, our peaceful delegation shall turn into a fighting force at a moment's notice. We shall restore the Temple Knight's reputation and recover your artifact in one fell swoop. Thank you, Handyloop. We promise to do our part. If Lefine shows herself, she won't get away with it this time. We have but to hammer out the finer details. Once we are ready to depart, the first group of knights shall leave by airship. I would ask you both to make your way to Oxundu as soon as possible, so you may help plan our strategy. I'm counting too. I can heal your wounds, and if it comes to it, my staff can bruise as well as a club. I'll gladly have you with us. I'm done taking the world alone. We need you, Lozanikwe, and Yo too. We're stronger together than we could ever be apart. The cradle never would have been stolen if I'd realized that from the beginning. And I want you by my side to ensure I don't forget. Well then, we'd better be off. I'm keen to meet this Chief Sanu Vanu. Honored Netherling, your return to Oxundu is as welcome as the arrival of spring. Sano knows why you come. Wicked hearts seek to bring chaos to our home. And so the Zundu shall rise to defend if needed. As the sun's rays chase away the shadows of night, the Sundrop dance shall keep the tendrils of sleep at bay. Chief Sanu Vanu, it's an honor to meet you. I'm Tentoa, and if this Sundrop dance is as invigorating as you say, I'd love to see it for myself. The Zundu shall dance before Ishgard's warriors upon their arrival. Brave Tentoa is welcome to join the proceedings. That was your original intent, right? I see. If we draw Lafine out, it makes sense to pretend like nothing is amiss. If we're okay. Zundu warriors unify their strength through the Sundrop dance, and the sight is so fearsome that many choose to flee rather than fight. Netherling warriors may learn much from such an approach. Breaking the enemy's spirits avoids needless bloodshed. Yet, all dancers must hone their skills before wild animals first, that the Sundrop dance does not fail them at the most crucial moment. It is for that reason our dancers await at the outskirts of Oxundu for the Netherlings' arrival. When the performance begins, it shall draw the attention of all like a roiling cloud coming over the horizon. Watch carefully for any who would take advantage of that moment. After the dance is finished, Netherlings will present to the Zundu with Chief Sonu. Netherling ship appears in the skies like sudden sun shower, hurtling toward Earth. Swiftly it descends, crashing down near Zundu dancers. Ship's markings are Ishgardian. Zundu are unhurt, but wounded Netherlings pour from vessel. Oh, they already know that. So that one. The Temple Knights were coming by airship, right? All Lafine had to do was lull the pilot to sleep. She saw right through us, and now we're on the back foot. Great winds can alter even a raging river's course. What matters is to stand strong and move forward, and now we must offer aid to Netherlings who come as guests. Right, let's go. go. It's only been 8 minutes, okay. We are fortunate that Lefine chose the outskirts of the settlement to enact her horrible plan. Imagine if the ship crashed over Oksundu or even Ishgard. If this is the work of the Cradle, Lefine can't be far. We must tend to the wounded, but I won't let her escape again. This ends today, one way or another. Let me check something. Oh, my item level is a little higher. Okay. There you are, Lefine. You came all this way just to greet me. Oh, I am honored. I only hope my gift was satisfactory. 'Tis a shame you will not see Ishgard crumble. Alas, I can scarcely suffer rats to scurry about my feet, threatening to gnaw at my carefully laid plans. At least you bear witness to the dying breath of the Temple Knight's flagging honor. We should sooner see that wrecked airship soar again and their reputation return to its former glory. Yet even I did not foresee that the Zundu would be in this ship's path. The fury favors me, for who now would trust a nation so careless as to put their neighbors at risk? Everyone knows you're behind this. People won't turn on each other so easily. Oh, I didn't see you there. The shut-eye, wide awake. Doubtly honored I am that you came all this way just to meet your end. Enough. We're taking the cradle back. We won't let your evil continue any longer. Such bold words. If I recall correctly, your people reaped great benefits from this artifact's powers, all at the cost of someone's waking life. Your life. Pray do not misunderstand me. That was not meant to be a denouncement of your people. On the contrary, they have my utmost respect. We are bound by our very nature. No matter how mighty we become, we are slaves to the whims of sleep. Yet this artifact can sunder those shackles and grant true freedom. It makes its wielders stronger and their enemies weak. A perfect weapon, if you ask me. I can't say whether using this cradle is right or wrong. I only know that a life lived is at cost of another is no life at all. You're right about one thing. We are bound by our nature, but that doesn't shackle us. It brings us together. And whether I'm asleep or awake, as long as Lozum is by my side, that's the life I want. She's exhausted the cradle's power of the Temple Knights. This is our chance. No plan is without its wrinkles, I suppose. Fortunately, I prepare for all contingencies. You had an opportunity to live a quiet life, but I will not give it again. This time, I shall send you into a slumber from which you will never wake. Wait, did I win? Oh, no I didn't. The artifact swells with power. It begs to be released. Now you would shut your eyes for the final time, that take a glimpse at the waking world of the waking world. But you son of a bitch. Fuck yeah. First try. This is before I beat the Endwalker duty for tank roll quest, so I'm happy I beat this one on the first try. You stubborn. You may have won it today, but this is not over. Yes, it is. No! Oh. Damn fool. Now. No. Say goodnight, Lafine. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. The wide eye watches eternal, and eternal is the sleep it bestows. We finally stopped her. Yes, but we have someone else to worry about. Yo, wake up. Are you alright? Ah, only she would smile at a time like this. I like that. She's awake. It's good to see you awake. Don't worry, we weren't asleep for long, and judging by your fierce expression, the cradle didn't sap any of your trademark vigor. Netherling look hale as warrior in their prime. Good. Our wicked foes fled from Sundrop dance like twilight before dawn. Now is all the dance. Your work is done, yo. You did a commendable job as our shield, and now you can lay down your burden. It was thanks to your bravery that I was able to deal the final blow to Lafine. And with that cradle back in our possession, I think we can consider this expedition across the seas to be a success. The Zundu helped us gather the wounded and see them safely off to Ishgard. We couldn't have done it without you. Netherlings protect allies as fiercely as Galakat protecting kittens. Zundu are moved by your might. You were equally as impressive. I should learn to undrop trance myself, though I won't strike a figure half as fierce as yours. The Zundu seem to have everything well in hand, and Handaloop is likely eager to see us. We should return to Ishgard as soon as we can. 2 will be a long video, but it'll be worth it. Why am I? There. The heroes of the day have returned. Thanks to your valor, the threat Leafone posed is no more. What's more, not a single life was lost. On behalf of the Temple Knights, allow me to express my utmost gratitude to you all. You didn't owe me any thanks. After all, it was my fault that the cradle was stolen in the first place, and ultimately my fault that your delegation to Oksundu turned into a melee. It may be true that our visit to the Sea of Clouds was far from peaceful, but that bond between the Zundu and the Temple Knights has only deepened through overcoming mutual adversity. I can read. Blessings often take inscrutable forms. And while we know not whether Lafine yet lives, we do know that she can no longer reach the source of her ill-gotten power, so we'll have little more than to fear from her. With this crisis behind us, the common folk no longer have aught to fear. We will make known the story of Lafine's schemes and the heroes who worked to foil them, and in time I hope that trust in our order will be restored. The Temple Knights shall continue to build relations with our neighbors for years to come, relations which shall form the foundation for Ishgard's future. We would be honored if we could count you among our allies in this endeavor. Anything you need, simply call upon us, we'll be there, no questions asked. And with that, it is time we returned home. It's been an honor. We'll be passing through Toliolo on our way back, yo. If you have business in those parts, we'd love to speak with you at Ixbavte before setting off. See you soon, hopefully. Nice. I'm glad you made it back to Tyrol, yo. I'd been in Ishgard for so long I had almost forgotten what it's like to sweat. But I remember now, you can be sure. Yo, there you are. I was afraid we wouldn't see you before we left. We arrived not long ago, and apprised Brook Evu of everything that happened. This is the longest I've spent away from our village, but even though Toliolol and Ishgard were like entirely different worlds to me, I was only ever treated with kindness. Is anything the matter, Tentoa? Nothing, it's just something I've been thinking about. Our people have always been self-sufficient, but the Ishgardians and the Zundu showed that looking to your neighbor can reveal a way through the harshest difficulties. And you heard, Handaloop. The bond between Ishgard and Oxundu was only made deeper through their shared ordeal. To trust another to such a degree, well, I think it's a goal we should all strive toward. We have at least one friend like that, don't we? She who bent her ears to every note of the Norwal's lullaby without a shade of fear in her eyes. Thank you, Yo, for believing in us, for believing that no matter the outcome, your actions would not be in vain. In so doing, you taught me the worth of fighting alongside allies you can trust. Even if your shield breaks, that is not the end. It sounds deep. You're right. It's our faith in our allies, and their faith in us that gives us the courage to protect each other. But approaching someone with open arms doesn't mean they'll accept you. The relations between our people and our neighbors have been strained by generations of mistrust, and we must take care to mend them properly. If we can do that and learn to look towards the future hand in hand, then there will be no need for us to use the cradle ever again. People can sleep and dream untroubled and awaken with bright eyes. I want to see those days come to pass. Me too. Then you and I can finally spend more time together. Right, of course. If we're going to see this future, then we should get back to our village. They'll be overjoyed to see the cradle returned. Thank you for everything, Yo. Next time we meet, may we both have good news to share. Okay. Okay. Well, that's gonna do it for the role quests. For a tank anyway, for now. Until next expansion. But, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And I hope to see you in the next one. Whatever that may be. Peace.